And this is sweet. Meghan Markle said she has a finger they can use if they need it.
It is interesting how she's exposing her as a yacht girl, someone who was paid off by rich men to go and hang out.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Listen, I brought Meghan Markle, whatever her name is, to my Deal or No Deal celebrity golf tournament. She was one of my Deal or No Deal girls that were, she was a caddy for all of my celebrities.
What exploded out of what seemed like harmless celebrity chatter quickly turned into a full-scale digital wildfire, pulling Meghan Markle back into the center of online speculation that she had spent years trying to stay ahead of, control, or completely shut down. She had spent a long stretch of time carefully shaping her identity in the public eye, building a transformation from a struggling actress trying to survive auditions and small roles into someone standing next to royalty on the world stage. But that carefully managed image was now being tested again by online conversations that refused to disappear no matter how old or unverified they were. And right at the center of the spark that lit everything up was comedian Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live, whose name began circulating rapidly online after a segment that viewers claimed contained a subtle but explosive reference that immediately shifted the entire mood of social media discussion. What was originally just another comedy moment quickly turned into something far more intense once clips were uploaded, reposted, slowed down, zoomed in, and analyzed across multiple platforms where audiences began reading meaning into every word, pause, and expression as if it all pointed to something hidden. The question that took over instantly was sharp and unavoidable. What exactly was said? And why did it trigger such a strong reaction that some online communities immediately connected it to long-running celebrity rumors?
ChatGPT has released a new voice assistant feature inspired by Scarlett Johansson's AI character in Her, which I've never bothered to watch because without that body, what's the point of listening?
Yeah, today, Suits actress Meghan Markle married some unemployed dude who still lives with his grandma.
That had been floating around for years without any official confirmation. Within hours, hashtags, breakdown videos, reaction posts, and commentary threads flooded every corner of social media, with some users claiming Meghan Markle was under pressure behind the scenes, while others labeled it a resurfaced yacht-related rumor cycle that had never truly died in online gossip culture. For a long time, Meghan has been portrayed in the public eye as someone extremely aware of how narratives are built, shaped, and amplified in the media space, and how quickly those narratives can shift depending on timing, framing, repetition, and audience interpretation. Supporters often describe her as a figure who faced intense scrutiny while pushing back against institutional expectations and media pressure, while critics online argue that her public image has always been carefully constructed through strategic messaging, PR influence, and tightly controlled storytelling choices. From the moment she entered global recognition, every detail of her life became part of a larger narrative battle where perception, branding, and emotional framing all influenced how audiences interpreted her journey, decisions, and public presence. But behind interviews, magazine covers, red carpet appearances, and polished public statements, online spaces have long circulated unverified claims about her earlier years, discussions that live in a grey zone where rumor, speculation, and fragmented narratives often merge without any clear confirmation. These discussions tend to resurface in cycles.
Do you think your sister, Meghan Markle, has ruined Prince Harry?
The answer is yes. I mean, every single interview, every single picture, every place they go, Meghan grabs him. Meghan controls him. Meghan tells him no. Meghan stands in front of him. She controls every single situation like she is the star.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits, which will be set in Los Angeles. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
Especially when triggered by viral cultural moments, and then fade again until something brings them back into circulation. And this time that spark allegedly came from a comedy segment that viewers interpreted in multiple competing ways. Colin Jost reportedly made a passing joke during a segment about celebrity culture, media rebranding, and public perception. And while no direct accusation was confirmed or officially stated, online audiences quickly began attaching meaning to it based on pre-existing internet narratives. That is where everything escalated, because once social media gets hold of a moment like this, interpretation spreads faster than clarification, and context often gets replaced by assumption, speculation, edits, and viral reposts that reshape the original intent completely. Within minutes, clips were circulating everywhere, with users breaking down tone, timing, wording, and even audience reaction, despite none of those interpretations being officially verified or supported by credible statements. Some viewers dismissed it as standard late-night satire meant to exaggerate celebrity culture for humor, while others insisted it was a coded reference to long-running online rumors that had never fully disappeared from forums, gossip threads, and commentary spaces. Even without any confirmed connection, Meghan's name began appearing more frequently in search trends and
the woman who destroyed her in-laws' family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like her, she's stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real princess.
People in Montecito, they are billionaires, they're superstars, and they don't like publicity. They live in Montecito to avoid photographers, and they believe that Harry and Meghan, with their pretty obvious pursuit of publicity, are spoiling the privacy of Montecito.
discussion feeds showing how quickly public attention can shift when speculation fills the gaps left by lack of official clarification. Old images, archived posts, and recycled internet content suddenly resurfaced across platforms, not as verified evidence, but as material being reinterpreted under a new wave of viral attention, emotional reaction, and algorithm-driven visibility. At that point, the situation stopped being about comedy entirely and turned into something much larger, a reflection of how digital narratives form, grow, and evolve once they are picked up by millions of users interacting at the same time. And as that momentum continued building, the conversation expanded into broader discussions about fame, reputation, and how fragile public perception has become in an era where content spreads instantly without traditional gatekeeping. Behind the scenes of this growing online storm, anonymous accounts and speculative commentary pages began suggesting reactions from Meghan's inner circle, although none of these claims have been verified or confirmed by reliable sources. What remains undeniable, however, is that in today's media environment, narratives can escalate within hours, and once they gain momentum, controlling perception becomes significantly harder, regardless of how strong a public relations system might be. As reactions multiplied,
It was just sterile and awful, and I hate her. I'm so sorry, I really do.
Meghan, it's just like we see right through your fake behavior, and no amount of saying how kind you are is going to make people think, oh, isn't she so kind? All of the nasty things you have done, we know.
content creators across platforms began breaking down every angle, replaying the segment repeatedly, analyzing wording, and building layered interpretations that turned a short comedic moment into hours of continuous content production. The original intent of the joke, whether satire, exaggeration, or casual commentary, slowly faded into the background as audience interpretation took full control of the narrative and reshaped it in real time. This reflects a larger reality of internet culture, where content no longer stays fixed in its original context, but instead evolves through constant reinterpretation by millions of viewers who reshape meaning collectively. And in this case, that evolution created a wave of overlapping narratives that mixed humor, speculation, rumor, and commentary into one continuous and expanding digital conversation. As discussions intensified further, debates emerged around comedy boundaries, media responsibility, and whether viral moments like this contribute to misinformation cycles or simply reflect existing public curiosity about celebrity culture. Some users defended the comedic aspect, arguing that satire often mirrors public discourse, while others criticized the reaction itself, pointing out how quickly speculation can grow into widespread assumption without verified grounding. Meanwhile, reaction videos and breakdown content continued flooding timelines, with creators layering analysis, interpretation, and commentary into endless engagement-driven storytelling designed to keep audiences watching and interacting. And as this cycle expanded, the original structure of the moment faded further into the background, replaced entirely by a digital narrative shaped by audience participation, repost culture, and algorithmic amplification. At the center of everything remains a broader pattern in modern celebrity culture, where public figures exist inside constantly shifting narratives that can be reshaped instantly by online interpretation and viral momentum. Even without confirmed evidence of anything beyond a comedy segment, the situation highlights how quickly fragments of content can evolve into massive global discussions that spread far beyond their original intent. And as the conversation continues circulating across platforms, it shows no signs of slowing down, because in the world of viral media, once attention is captured, it rarely stays contained, instead expanding into something far larger, shaped entirely by collective interpretation, speculation, and non-stop digital engagement that keeps feeding itself long after the original moment has passed, continuing to evolve with every repost, every reaction, and every new layer of online theory added into a constantly growing narrative ecosystem that refuses to settle or disappear quietly back into the internet background noise. It wasn't just her image on the line anymore. It was everything they had built beyond those royal gates that suddenly felt under attack. Meghan Markle wasn't just dealing with gossip. She was facing a situation that could shake the entire empire she and Prince Harry worked so hard to create after stepping away from palace life. Reports started circulating that Harry, already drained from years of public pressure and media attention, was reaching his limit. The constant noise, the endless drama, the resurfacing of things they thought were long buried. It was all becoming too much. Insiders claim he was frustrated, even angry, that as past Meghan tried to leave behind was now overshadowing the future they were trying to protect. And inside that Montecito mansion, the tension must have been intense. Meghan allegedly pacing back and forth, phone in hand, firing off urgent emails, trying to regain control of a situation slipping through her fingers. Her publicist reportedly glued to screens, refreshing Twitter again and again, tracking hashtags, watching trends climb higher by the minute like a ticking clock that wouldn't slow down. Meanwhile, Harry is said to be focused on something else entirely, trying to figure out how to shield their children from the storm brewing outside, because this wasn't just headlines anymore. It was everywhere. Social media, videos, discussions, speculation. It was spreading fast, and it wasn't slowing down. And then there's the royal family. Completely silent. No statements, no reactions, nothing. Just that cold, calculated silence they've mastered over the years. It's a strategy that speaks louder than words. Stay still while everything unfolds. Let the noise build, let the pressure grow, and watch from a distance as narratives shift without lifting a finger. Because sometimes silence isn't weakness, it's power. And in situations like this, it can feel like the loudest move of all. Even though Meghan physically left that world behind, the influence of that system never really left her. The understanding of image, timing, control, it's all still there. And the royal family knows that sometimes the most effective response is no response at all, letting everything play out naturally while staying untouched. The internet, though, that's a completely different story. Because the internet doesn't just enjoy drama, it thrives on mystery. And nothing pulls people in faster than something unclear, something unresolved, something that feels like it's hiding just beneath the surface. So what exactly are these so-called yacht photos tied to Meghan Markle that keep resurfacing again and again? The truth isn't simple. It's messy, unclear, and buried under layers of speculation, denial, and confusion. The images that circulate online aren't sharp or definitive. They're usually low-quality snapshots showing a woman on a yacht, often wearing sunglasses, sometimes surrounded by wealthy-looking individuals, and always lacking clear identification. Some people are quick to say, "That's Meghan," while others push back just as strongly, saying there's no solid proof at all. The angles don't help. Faces aren't always visible. Context is missing. And yet, despite all of that, the images continue to circulate like they carry meaning far beyond what can actually be confirmed. And that's where the real issue starts. Because in today's digital world, something doesn't have to be proven to have impact. It just needs attention. Perception moves faster than facts. And once people start connecting dots, whether they're accurate or not, those ideas spread quickly. Meghan's entire public identity has been built around perception, around storytelling, presentation, and carefully shaped narratives. So when something like this enters the conversation, even without proof, it creates cracks that are hard to ignore. These images, real or not, feed into a storyline that critics have been pushing for years. A narrative that suggests there's more beneath the surface, more behind the scenes, more that hasn't been fully explained. And that narrative fits perfectly into what online trolls and speculation channels want to amplify. They push the idea that Meghan was navigating elite social spaces long before her royal chapter, allegedly positioning herself strategically among powerful individuals. Again, these are claims, not confirmed facts, but in the online world, repetition can make anything feel real. Adding even more fuel to this situation are those old Hollywood gossip blind items. Vague posts that hint at unnamed actresses attending exclusive yacht events for networking purposes. Meghan's name was never directly confirmed in those posts, but that hasn't stopped online communities from connecting those dots themselves. And once those connections are made, they spread fast. Her team has avoided addressing these claims directly, likely understanding that even a denial could bring more attention, because sometimes responding gives rumors more life than ignoring them. But after Colin Jost made that joke, everything changed. The demand to see the proof skyrocketed overnight. TikTok creators rushed to post breakdowns, theories, side-by-side comparisons. Reddit threads exploded with detailed analysis, zooming into shadows, angles, backgrounds, trying to find confirmation in pixels that don't clearly show anything. And that frenzy revealed something important. Even unverified rumors, when pushed hard enough, can turn into full-scale PR challenges. Because once millions of people are talking about something, controlling the narrative becomes almost impossible. And if there's one thing the internet loves just as much as mystery, it's picking sides. The moment that joke hit, social media split instantly. On one side, you had Meghan's supporters, ready to defend her against what they see as unfair targeting. They called out the situation as misogyny, criticizing the idea of reducing a woman's life to blurry images and unconfirmed gossip. They argued that Meghan has been subjected to years of unfair scrutiny and that this was just another example of that pattern. Supporters flooded timelines with reminders of her past struggles, her public statements, and the challenges she faced within the royal system. They framed this as another attempt to undermine her voice and her independence. But on the other side, the speculation only grew louder. Online forums, gossip-heavy TikToks, and reaction channels pushed the opposite narrative. They analyzed every detail, every photo, every clip, building theories that suggested this situation revealed something deeper about Meghan's past. Each post, whether accurate or not, gained traction. Views climbed into the millions. Comments poured in. And with every interaction, the story stayed alive. For every video defending Meghan, there were multiple others pushing questions, doubts, and alternative interpretations. And people kept asking, if the rumors aren't true, why not address them directly? Others countered that ignoring rumors is actually the smartest move because responding only gives them more attention. But here's the problem. Ignoring didn't stop the conversation. Hashtags kept trending, videos kept coming, discussions kept growing, and eventually, curiosity took over. The yacht girl narrative became part of the mainstream conversation, whether Meghan wanted it or not. And with every click, every share, every comment, it gained more visibility. Now the big question, was Colin Jost's joke really just a joke? On the surface, it fits his style. Quick, sharp, slightly edgy humor aimed at public figures. That's what he's known for. But some people believe there was more behind it. There's a growing feeling among some comedians that certain topics have become off-limits due to PR pressure, legal risks, and online backlash. And figures like Meghan, who maintain strong control over their public image, can become targets for that kind of pushback. So for some, that joke wasn't random. It was intentional, a way to challenge the idea that certain people are untouchable. Others think it connects to a bigger picture. Meghan and Harry's media deals, their public statements about the press, and their efforts to shape their own narrative have reportedly created tension within parts of the entertainment industry. And in that context, the joke could be seen as commentary, not just comedy. Or maybe it really was just a quick line that spiraled out of control, because sometimes that's all it takes. One sentence, one moment, and suddenly everything changes. Regardless of intent, the impact is clear. Meghan's past is back in conversation. Her team is responding behind the scenes. And Colin didn't step back. That moment didn't just create a joke. It reopened a discussion Meghan had worked hard to avoid. And whether the rumors are true or not doesn't even seem to matter anymore. Because in the world of public opinion, perception often outweighs facts. A single idea can spread faster than any clarification. A blurry image can carry more weight than an official statement. And once a narrative starts moving, stopping it becomes incredibly difficult. For Meghan, this isn't just another headline. It's a direct challenge to the image she's built, the partnerships she's secured, and the message she's been presenting to the world. Because everything connects. Her brand, her deals, her influence, they all rely on how she is perceived. And when that perception starts shifting even slightly, the effects can be massive. The yacht rumors, true or not, introduce a version of the story that conflicts with the one she's been sharing. A version that critics are quick to highlight and supporters are quick to reject. And that tension creates something powerful, uncertainty. So now the question becomes unavoidable. What happens next? Can Meghan navigate through this wave like she has before? Can she reshape the narrative again, turning criticism into another chapter of resilience? Or will this moment stick longer than expected, creating lasting doubt in the public eye? And even more importantly, will she address it or continue to stay silent and let the noise fade on its own? Because either choice comes with risk. But if you think this situation is intense, you haven't seen everything yet, because this story doesn't start here. It goes deeper into private meetings, unexpected connections, and moments that were never meant to be seen publicly. There are claims about events in Dubai, discussions behind closed doors, and even whispers involving Tyler Perry, and recordings that could change how people view everything connected to Meghan and Harry. And if those details come fully into the light, this situation could shift even further. If you want the full picture, you already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe, because what comes next takes this story to a whole different level.